Hello humans and metahumans. This is Jason, and today I'm playing Chromehammer Ascension by Nordic Weasel Games and, yes, me. Chromehammer Ascension is a solo skirmish cyber fantasy campaign game. It's like if Shadowrun and 5 Parsecs from Home had a baby, but they were cousins so things got weird. So your dwarven hacker might have to fight off a squad of kobold zealots with Uzis on their way to taking out the fire-breathing dragon CEO. But for now, let's meet my crew. There's the ubiquitous Agent M, the nominal leader of the crew, Sarge, a survivor of the LA Incursion Wars, Ghost, a wandering sword for hire, Shuffle, a former corporamancer, and Grimm, a casualty of the LA Incursion Wars. These guys have been in it for a while now, and each have a couple of edges, some good gear, and a handful of street cred. As this is a campaign game, there are a few steps before we get to the action. First, we pay a few gigabit coins, aka Jeebs, in upkeep. Then we roll on the city events table. Alright, this time I get Veterans Benefits, and 3 Jeebs for each veteran in my crew. I then roll up options for jobs to take, and I get a sabotage job on an installation belonging to Uncanny Mountain Corp, a Dragon Run corporation specializing in artificial intelligence. Next, everyone takes downtime actions. Agent M and Sarge do some research for the next job, uncovering a service entrance and a manifest. Grimm takes on a white hat side job, recovering a dragon egg for a junk scavenger, and almost, but not quite, completes the mission. He's okay though. Ghost does a black hat job, successfully fragging somebody's doped up abusive screw and earning 5 Jeebs for her trouble. Shuffle would like to perform a ritual of attunement, or perhaps summon a Zephyr, but instead goes to rehab. He doesn't yet kick the addiction, but at least the donuts are fresh. Finally, it's time to get down to business. But jobs never go like you want. A roll on the glitch table gives me out of service. The data terminals on this mission will have to be hotwired back into operation before they can be hacked. All the punks start hidden, with 4 of them at the front gate, except for Sarge, who sneaks in through the service entrance on the right side. But not every punk gets to act on every turn. Some of them might be waiting for an opening or checking their gear or coordinating with the other crew members. So first we need to roll 2d6 for orders, keeping the higher result. In this case I got 4. 4 punks get to act. Not bad. Agent M will go first, moving to engage this data terminal, putting him in position to hotwire it next turn. Grimm will move out, adding 1d6 inches to his movement. 6 extra inches is fast, but the 6 causes him to lose a point of stealth. Ghost follows him. She only rolls a 5 to move out, but as an elf she's naturally faster. Finally, Sarge engages with this door, preparing to go up. That's the end of the player phase. Let's see what the enemies are doing. At the start of the first enemy phase, 4 guards are spawned in random corners. I roll a die for each, deploy them, and they all get to act. Usually, enemies will move toward the closest hidden punk and scan for them, needing to roll a 3 or less on a d6. They get a 5 and fail, and so wander off in a random direction, as determined by where the 1 is facing on the die. The next guard also appears in their front corner, and patrols toward Agent M, but he can't see anybody from this angle and ends his activation. The last 2 guards appear in the same rear corner and begin their patrol, but also aren't in range of any of the punks, so they stop there. That ends the first turn, so it's time for the punks to roll for orders again. 5. That's everybody. First, Sarge goes up a floor to take on this loot crate. A carry-out order causes him to lose 1 point of stealth automatically. Then he tries to hotwire the loot crate. He has the safecracker edge, so he only needs 6 or better on 2d6 to succeed, and an 8 is a success. Inside he finds a mana vault. Shuffle is sure to want that. Next, Agent M will try to hotwire this data terminal to make it active. Unfortunately, he rolls a 5 and takes 2 damage for his trouble. Grimm and Ghost move out toward the other loot crate and the main objective, respectively, with Ghost losing a point of stealth for rolling a 6. And finally, Shuffle shuffles forward. Then it's the enemy phase again. This guard moves up for a close call, making Agent M lose a point of stealth automatically. They each roll a die and get 3 and 3, a tie. They both lose a point of stealth, if they have it, and roll again. This time, Agent M wins by 1, and the guard wanders forward, which unfortunately is still very close. This next guard patrols and tries to scan Shuffle. He gets a 6, which is a miss. I roll for a random direction, and he decides to keep looking over here instead. At the objective, a guard approaches Ghost, barely making it into a close call, so she loses 1 stealth. She gets a 2, and he gets a 5. So she loses the difference, 3 stealth, bringing her to just 1. The low die provides the corporation with 2 response points. The other guard approaches and scans her, but a 6 misses. I roll a random direction die, a 6, player's choice. I decide to move him back here, out of sight behind the shipping container. It's a new turn, and the punks get 4 orders. First, Ghost will try to hotwire the objective. She's out of penalty with that goon lurking nearby, and she fails so hard it shifts the whole platform. But at least she only took 1 damage. She also loses a point of stealth for doing a carry-out order, which I almost forgot. She's exposed, and now all the guards are alert. An exposed punk also earns the corporation 1d6 response points. Crap. 6 more brings the total to 8, enough for reinforcements. Meanwhile, Shuffle wants to do something cool, so he's going to cast Teleport on the guard next to Agent M to give him some breathing room. His target number is equal to his current damage, which is 0, so he can't fail. Unfortunately, his die roll of 4 strains him to the tune of 4 damage. On the other side of that building, Grimm takes this chance to hotwire another loot crate. He rolls a 3 and a 1. Fail. But Grimm has street cred. He spends 1 to reroll a die. He rerolls the 1 and gets a 5. Now the total is 8, which is just enough to pop the loot crate. What's inside? A toolkit. I'm going to use the manifest we dug up to reroll that though. Painkillers. Okay, somebody's getting +2 hit points. Finally, Agent M will regroup to heal some damage. And on the enemy phase, they now have more than 5 response points, which calls in Dragonkin troopers. Scary. The guards engage. The first charges Ghost for a point of damage, but she hits him for 1 and drives him away. Then another piles on, doing 2 more damage total, and forcing Ghost to fall back. Then the Dragonkin move at full speed toward the exposed Ghost. They can't see her, or anybody else though, so they end by moving out toward her. This guard also moves toward Ghost, but all he sees is Shuffle, so he scans Shuffle again, and fails again. He ends by moving towards the entrance where he thought he saw something. Piling onto the Ghost train, this guard moves out toward her, stopping in cover. Welcome to turn 4. Punks get 6 orders this time. Unfortunately, there are way too many enemies near the main objective, so as long as Ghost is exposed anyway, she's going to try to kite them away from it. She also takes the opportunity to stab this guard a couple of times. Stabby stab. As tempting as it would be for Grimm to headshot that injured guard to finish him off, he instead does the smart thing, staying out of sight until the objective opens up. I need Shuffle to move, but he's pretty hurt, so I split the difference and I have him defend to recover 1 hit point. He's harder to scan now too. Meanwhile, Agent M tries again to hotwire this data terminal. He gets a 9 and succeeds. Sarge, also waiting for things to clear up, just lies low this turn. In the enemy phase, this guard charges Ghost again, but she slaps him back. Otherwise, everything seems to be going according to plan, as nearly every other enemy on the table moves out in her direction. Except for this last guard, who heads for Agent M, who's threatening a data terminal, fails to scan Shuffle, and then randomly moves up onto the platform. And that's the end of turn 4. For turn 5 orders I get 2. Ouch. I'm gonna have to prioritize. Clearly, Ghost needs to get out of there, so she moves out, booking it for the exit. I also want to get Sarge off of this building. That's both orders, but luckily, Agent M is motivated, and in a pinch can act anyway. He tries to hack the data terminal now, getting a 4 and a 3 for 7. Not enough. He spends a street cred to reroll the 3. 2. Come on. Another street cred. 2. Gah. Another street cred. 4. Finally. And 8 will successfully hack the data terminal. Then the enemies strike back. This guard rushes up to the ledge and trades fire with Ghost, but they both miss. The Dragonkin and this guard keep moving out towards Ghost. These other 2 guards need to deal with Sarge threatening the data terminal. The first tries to scan him and fails, but wanders closer to him anyway. The other does the same thing, and scans Sarge for 1 stealth. And on turn 6 we get 6 orders. Poor Ghost is in a bad way, and 1 more hit will take her out. so she runs as fast as she can for the exit. Agent M is also looking to get away from that guard, although he'll stick around as backup for the others. Now Shuffle goes, and he has a plan. He wants to teleport Grimm towards the objective. Unfortunately, he flubs the cast and takes a point of damage. Dwarven wizards, am I right? Anyway, somebody has to complete this job, so Grimm moves out for the objective, losing a point of stealth again in the process. And finally, Sarge hotwires another data terminal. On the enemy phase, this guard continues to hound Ghost, shooting down at her from this ledge. But he rolls a 5 and misses. Rather than shoot back in this firefight, she falls back, escaping the compound. With Ghost off their radar, the Dragonkin decide to check up on the main objective. They scan Grimm there and fail, but a 1 on the random direction die has them remain in place. Grimm also suffers a close call from the nearby guard, but only loses a point of stealth. And Sarge, by the data terminal, deals with basically the same thing. He loses a point of stealth and the guard wanders off. And the last guard moves toward Grimm, but can't see anything. On turn 7 we get 5 orders, more than enough. With the first order, Sarge tries to hack this data terminal. And a 6 will not cut it. He spends a street cred to reroll the 2 and gets 7, not enough. Another street cred roll, and 8, success. Finally. Back to Grimm. This is it, the main objective. He tries to hotwire and gets a 6. No! Come on, street cred. The reroll gives me a 9. Awesome. Let's get out of here. And with the objective completed, Agent M does just that. Shuffle pumps his chunky little legs to follow, but doesn't quite make it out. Well, the enemy aren't going to stand for any of this. The first guard close calls Grimm, exposing him, and the enemy gets another 4 response points, triggering a protocol in the next phase. The close call turns into an assault, but without the charge damage, and they both inflict a point of damage to each other. They could go another round, but the guard has had enough and retreats. With Grimm exposed, the Dragonkin comes swooping off the building, hitting him with a point of charge damage, and then shooting him up for 2 more. He does manage to throw shurikens at them as he's forced back, though. Right into the waiting arms of another guard. That's 1 more charge damage, but Grimm is able to fight him off for the moment. Less dramatically, the final guard moves out towards Grimm. Now I roll for a new protocol, and come up with traps, and I place 1 near each remaining punk. And then it's turn 8, and I get 4 orders. And a pretty injured Shuffle makes for the front door. Sarge tries to flee too, but unfortunately there's a trap in the way. He grits his prominent teeth and charges in. The trap springs on him for 1 damage, and is removed, so he keeps running. And with the path opened up, Grimm is right behind him. The enemies continue the chase, with this guard charging into an assault on Grimm. 7 damage would take most punks out, but Grimm has no time to bleed for 2 extra hit points. This forces Grimm to flee, but he was on his way out anyway. The Dragonkin troopers also come after him, but all they manage to do is fail to scan Sarge. The remaining 2 guards are too far back to do anything useful, so that's all for the enemies. Turn 9 gives me 3 orders, which is enough for brave Grimm and Sarge to bravely run away. Mission completed. After the job, I skipped the recovery step, because thanks to a little luck and a lot of street cred, nobody was fragged. Then it's time to get paid. The crew earns 7 gigabitcoins in payment, and each punk gets 1d6 rep. Next, I process pay data from the successful hacks. Agent M finds memos and research. Sarge finds a bunch of trade secrets. Matching these up with what they dug up in the previous jobs, it looks like they're ready to take on the CEO. And that was Chromehammer Ascension. I hope you enjoyed it. G Slaughter Vito. Oops, I wasn't recording. Let me reroll that 5. God damn it.